is Lainey Volz. I'm a fashion and textile design major with a concentration in fashion design, and I am class of 2026. In this vlog, I am so excited to take you along on my experience at the ITMA in Milan, Italy. The ITMA is the largest textile and garment technology exhibition in the whole world, and I'll take you along to see those booths as well as other parts of Milan, Italy. Let's go. I love bows, and this dress has a fun bow on the top. It's a nice orange color, and so I can walk around without sneakers.
For this trip, we've been asked to write a paper about a topic of our choosing, so I came up with the impact of garment production advancements on mass production accessibility, which basically means, will all the advancements in new machinery that creates clothes that we see at ITMA impact the kind of clothing that we see in big stores like Kohl's or H&M?
For now, I thought I'd give you a recap of what happened today and like what booths I visited, and I took some notes down so I don't forget. My top 3 booths that I visited today. First one was the Sercon exhibit. They featured projector garment patterns in just like conventional like home sewing. You often think of purchasing a paper pattern and pinning it to your fabric. They're trying to streamline that process and make it simple, removing the physical pattern and the pinning that would need to happen, and they are projecting each piece of the garment pattern. So I just thought that was really fascinating for garment production, and I'm hoping to go back to their booth over the next couple of days just to ask where this is already in place. The second place on my list that was just absolutely incredible today was the Mandarin knitting technology. They have these whole garment knitting machines, and what that means is, opposed to knitting you just a flat piece of knit fabric, the machine will knit you an entire garment. All you have to do is wash it and it's ready to wear. It knits a whole entire sweater with the sleeves and cuffs and back all attached, and it's just really, it's an incredible process to watch. And we have some whole garment knitting machines at Wilson, and the machines today, their needles have such like a varied gauge or size hole, so they're able to use an incredible variation of yarns. There's really unlimited amounts of creativity and design work that can be featured with a machine like this. And then finally, for my top 3 recap today, was the Textile and Fashion Expose 2030 booth. They're featuring this brand that was going by designed by AI. It almost takes the thrift flipping to almost a mass production type level. The AI scans a garment and detects imperfections with it, and a lot of times it seemed like the most common one I found was a hole or a stain in the garment, and then comes up with a solution. And I talked with the woman at this booth, and she was saying that they're really hoping for the next steps is that AI will be able to redesign the garment. So that is my review for today. I'm very excited to see what else there is tomorrow. I have this cute little button-down shirt, also matches the gold buttons there. Put this in, the little button shirt has some bows on the edge. As I told you yesterday, I love bows. And then this khaki colored dress with buttons, almost has like a elongated kind of vest look. And then of course our sneakers, definitely taking some use to not navigating the center. It is really large. Today, even though I created questions last night that I want to return to the garment production booths that I visited yesterday to ask. And then in addition to that, I really want to take, since we have so many days here, another day to really just explore. And I think the highlight of today was the core knit group demonstration. It was really fascinating to learn how they use 3D printing on fabric to give a raised detail to decals to almost give the appearance of embroidery, as well as many more finishes. Hello vlog! I am back from ITMA day 2. I would describe today as exciting, mind expanding, and very warm. Another aspect of today was learning that restaurants, even if they say they're open in Google Maps, they're probably not open till 7. That's what a friend and I figured out today. We're gonna plan our days around getting places at 7, maybe having a bit of a break in between, because we definitely ended up wandering a bit to try and fill the time. So now we are getting a better idea of that Italian lifestyle. Today was one of my favorite days at ITMA because I discovered two of my favorite booths. One of the booths featured designs from the designer Tessa Coops, and it showed how she created a painting and then from that painting created some textile designs, a dress that used the textile designs as well as home goods. It really inspired me. I definitely wanted to try to make a painting and then make some designs and like surface designs from that. I just thought that was a super cool process to see. And then I also loved attending the Epson booth as we got to see how fashion design students from around the world used Epson printers to print their designs onto fabric to create dresses, comforters, shoes, handbags, and I was just really impressed by the range of materials that Epson fabric printers can print on. Here's the OOTD, probably my favorite one of the week. This was my grandmother's dress and I feel really special to be wearing it. She was like the most fashionable person and I've always just been in love with her wardrobe.
Visiting the Armani Museum was one of my most favorite parts of the week. It just filled me with so much creative inspiration. It was truly amazing walking through his lifetime of work. So I thought I would give you a rundown of my top 3 favorite looks that I saw there. And I absolutely loved what I'm calling the swirly jacket. I love kind of like the textile manipulation of the striped fabric and having like this use of negative space. Another one of my favorite pieces I saw is what I'm going to call the big belt dress. The dress's pattern itself, while it does have stripes that mimic the stripes on the belt, they're all very soft. And I think that juxtaposition is really nice and it brings some like beautiful structure to the dress. And the final design I'm going to talk to you about, which was just so hard to choose because I love every design in this gallery, is this beautiful floral beaded dress. It really catches your eye from across the room because each bead has such a reflective quality. And I really loved how it almost felt like the beads were just poured onto the dress form. And I think this look is achieved by how they're each beaded on there vertically. So it's like it is just like dripping from the dress form and perfectly made to fit it. And something that I really love that I see throughout Giorgio Armani's work is that he creates flowers with a very rounded, almost like cartoon look. And I think it's just so playful and beautiful. We're hoping that later tonight we can get aperitivo by the Canal, which is like getting small like picky foods and appetizers. Good morning, friends, and happy day 5 of ITMA. We started off at this delicious cafe where I tried a cafe macchiato and this delicious apple cake. And this cafe also had a clothing store, which was just too cool, and they were so nice there, and it was a really fun way to start off the day. After the delicious cafe, we continued to explore the surrounding areas, which included going to a fabric store. The first fabric store we went to was super awesome, but for the most part, they just sold home interior textiles, which we absolutely love, but just for our crafting and designing needs, we wanted to look for a fabric store that had more apparel fabrics. So we headed over just to another area as we continued our exploring, and we saw this adorable shop that we just thought was like a kid's toy and clothing store, but when we went in, they actually had a ton of fabric that I would love to use there, pinks and florals, and it was just so much fun and so whimsical, and they even had all these beautiful trims. We went to lunch at this incredible pizza place. It was just the most adorable restaurant, just quintessential Italy. It was incredible, and we had the best pizza. I had potato pizza, which apparently is Milan specialty. We headed over to ITMA to attend the alumni reception, which was just so much fun to meet so many members of the Wolfpack, and we also explored a lot of embroidery machines today, which was really cool, and it's super fun when they turn all of them on and you get to see them in action. And something that I found so interesting is just how many types of embroidery machines you need and what a range there are. After we attended ITMA, we took a metro on over to the Duomo, which was absolutely surreal. Everything is so ornate and the scale of everything is just massive, and I think this might have been my favorite day, just wandering around and taking all of this beauty in. This dinner, oh my goodness, this was the best dinner of the trip. Most incredible risotto of my life. I love pink. The beet in the dish made all of the risotto pink, which was just so fun. Today was an extremely special day that I'll remember forever. It was just filled with so much fun and laughter and fashion and just truly so fulfilling. I'm so grateful to be on this trip.
Good morning vlog. I don't know about you, but I cannot believe it's already Tuesday. Where is the time gone? This trip is flying by. As you've seen, the past couple days we've done some awesome exploring. We're gonna do a little bit of vlog work and then I will be off to ITMA. Before I forget, here's the OOTD. We have chunky gold earrings, this adorable gray blue blouse with ruching on the sleeves, which is such an adorable detail, as well as on the neckline. These wide leg khaki or like tan colored trousers with pleats in the front and pockets, which is really always so helpful to have. White sneakers. And now we are off to ITMA. Let's go get the metro.
So today I was really focusing on finding the commonalities and advancements between booths so that I could have a really clear introduction and conclusion to my paper. What I found as I continued to discover the booths was that the two vital players in the future of high-end techniques going mainstream are the rise of artificial intelligence and consolidating factory processes. AI and consolidating our factories makes complete sense as the future of garment accessibility. Artificial intelligence is breaking its way into all industries, and it's important not to ignore its negative effects. So while ethics such as AI replacing employees for their companies still stands, it does appear many of the innovations at the companies and booths I've visited will be positive. I believe in the coming years, based off of the innovations and manufacturers I've met with, large chain retailers will start selling garments with mock embroidery like we saw at Cornet, varied knits like we saw at Mandarin Knitting Technology, revamped post-consumer waste like we saw at AI Remakes booth, and more complex construction like we saw at the Sercon Garment Pattern Projection booth.
Hello vlog, here's the after dinner OOTD. My friend and I just had a delicious dinner of pasta and tiramisu. Here is the outfit. It is a black top with these really cool black pants that my mom found that have like a chiffon overlay and are like almost like work kind of like a skirt or a longer dress. I pulled out Google Maps and searched iced coffee near me, and I found this adorable coffee shop. Then when I returned to the hotel, I got a salad at the pool bar because I knew that I wanted to do some sketching. I had always heard of people saying that they want to travel or go away somewhere when feeling creatively burnt out, and I never really understood what that felt like. But now, after being somewhere completely new, I understand what it feels like just to have so many ideas bouncing around in your head, because when you're in a new setting, you have the opportunity to be inspired by so many more things than in your day-to-day life. I've just been dying to get out my sketch pad and some colored pencils, so I went upstairs to the beautiful pool and just sketched for a couple hours. We have done so much together this week. I cannot believe that I've already gone to attend the biggest textile and garment technology conference in the world in Milan, Italy in only my first year. Wilson is truly the greatest place on earth. If you want to continue following along with my fashion design journey, be sure to follow me at designer Lainey Volz on Instagram. I'm headed to catch my flight, but go pack. I'll see you real soon.